Who is Travis Hunter? A versatile two-way player and Heisman winner, Travis Hunter could become the most dominant two-way player the NFL has seen. It's because of plays like this. When Travis Hunter is the wide receiver at the bottom of the screen, he runs a corner route, but when his quarterback throws him open, he works through the contact to high point the catch, getting a touchdown in the process. Welcome back to the franchise tag scouting department. Today's player is Travis Hunter, the wide receiver slash cornerback out of Colorado. For today's video, I start off with his wide receiver pros and cons, then shift over to his cornerback pros and cons, and then we get into the scouting report cards, of which I'll issue two, one at each position. Getting into it, Travis Hunter is a natural receiver. He has great hands, a great catch radius, and can fight through contact at the catch point very well. His catching skills are great. He knows how to catch each ball, will reach out of his frame in order to reel them in, and it's his strongest attribute as a wide receiver. And when he gets the ball in his hands, he is a shifty enough player to make DBs miss and extend yardage on catches. Some of my favorites come on hitch routes, where a simple spin after the catch can send the defender flying as he sprints away. Moving towards negatives, and I want to say that these aren't true knocks, but it's where he's weakest in his wide receiver game. In regards to route running, I felt that his route tree was somewhat limited, but it was still serviceable. I saw enough out of him to know that I could drop him in an NFL offense. I just might not expect perfect refinement on some of the routes. In terms of his release and route stems, he stems his routes well, but I feel he sometimes wastes time chopping his feet on his releases and doesn't generate as much separation as I would like to given the time spent trying to set up those DBs. For his blocking, whether it be on screens or in the run game, I feel that he's a decent asset there, but the amount of snaps he got this year, I'm not surprised that his run blocking was the weakest attribute on the offensive side of the ball. He has to take a break sometime. Before we get into the cornerback side of the tape, hit like if you're enjoying the video, subscribe if you want to see more of these scouting reports. As the draft nears, I'll be ramping up production and have more of these dropping every week. Getting into his work as a cornerback, Travis Hunter is elite. He has great instincts and is very quick to break on the ball, forcing 16 PBUs in his first 2 years with Colorado, and add to that his interception count of 7, his ball skills show up even in the box score. I prefer him as a zone corner, with him being able to have eyes on the quarterback and make those elite level plays by reading the eyes and breaking on those passes immediately. Moving towards those quote-unquote cons, he is worse in man coverage than zone. He's still great, but he can be outmuscled by larger receivers, as showcased in the game against Arizona. He's a good tackler, and he helps the run defense thanks to that, but what hurts his contributions there is poor block shed ability. Wide receivers will power him away from the play often enough to not be sold on him as a run defender at the boundary cornerback position. Getting into the tape breakdown, I've got one play for the offense and one play for the defense. Starting off with the offense, we see Travis Hunter down here at the bottom. And what's going to happen on this play is kind of a little bit of a switch release between him and the wide receiver next to him. This guy's going to kind of run like that on a kind of wheel looking route there. And then Travis Hunter is going to run a post. But what he does during the route itself is what's impressive. It's not just the route running. He won't get this ball. Shedeur Sanders does come under pressure pretty quickly. He gets flushed out. So Hunter does everything he does on this play without even catching the ball. But I just liked his routes. I liked what I saw from him in the stem and setting up that safety there. One thing I do want to touch on here is just the coverage look. So here there seems to be too high, but from when the play happens, this defender carries it all the way. So I feel that they're kind of running a cover 6 look here with this safety that Travis Hunter will be targeting on his route being the one to kind of cover this entire full half of the field. And so I feel that, you know, he definitely leverages that against him, and he makes a great play here. All right, so I wanted that to play through just once before I actually got into the immediate pause play breakdown there. So as you could see there, he makes this start to the route here, and he kind of immediately sets up right here as he was running right before where I paused it at. He was running straight. So this defender immediately starts moving that way, and as soon as he saw him make that movement towards him to definitely cover where he's about to be running to intersect it, Travis Hunter then makes that cut this way, and he's running a post here. So this could even be the, like, okay, I'm going to make that cut, post, carry it. But what ends up happening is he makes this cut, and there's this much space between, you know, where this guy is and where this, like, he's still running towards where he is. He's not past him. He's not carrying momentum fully this way. So even though Travis Hunter made that like decision, oh, I'm going to run straight, he's going to come over, and he cuts on the movement of him coming, he doesn't actually impact where the ball is going much with that move. So then what ends up happening is he is now basically leveled up with where that safety is, and he makes this big exaggerated look that he's, cutting across. He really hard looked that way and forced his movement this way. So even though he was technically, in line almost with that safety, and he had no true leverage towards the inside of that safety, he turned his head, he cut it so hard this way, as if, okay, I'm running this way, this is my route, but it's not. He did that full fake just to get this safety, who's now, he's closed this gap significantly, and he's closed the gap of, alignment. Basically, this guy had inside leverage by, it was like that much before. Now he has inside leverage by this much, but Travis Hunter just showed, oh, I'm going to be cutting hardcore outside here. So this guy is thinking, okay, I got to get right out here, I got to beat him out there, and that leads to him making the mistake that he does make, where he is completely out of frame at this point. Even Travis Hunter might be right there, with the spacing of them being around that much. Like, he got so much leverage because as soon as they got close, he went ahead and he forced the leverage to think, oh, I'm going all the way out here, and immediately cut that back inward. So he has this amount of separation. He is wide open. Beautiful just route, move, everything from Travis Hunter. Alrighty, and then this DB play that I'm looking at for Travis Hunter, we have him up here. No fancy yellow circle for you this time. Here you go. There he is up at the top, and he's going to be covering this flat area up top, with this defender, watching the eyes of the quarterback while he covers this flat area. And I'm going to let it play, but I think it's this guy over here, kind of just runs a slant the whole way, and Travis Hunter makes a great read on the quarterback's eyes to know when to bail from his flats. I'm going to go ahead and hit play there. All right, so right there, yeah, you saw it. I'm going to now let the backside angle play of this. So, he's watching right now. You see his eyes, the quarterback's eyes at least. He's watching that left side of the field. Travis Hunter will see him, watch him, and this is about when he moves off. And this is also about when Travis Hunter starts doing that lateral shuffle inside. And so then when the quarterback fully locks his eyes on his next target, it's already in Travis Hunter's mind, ball's not coming to this flat, I can start bailing out of here immediately. He sees the arm movement from the quarterback, sees that throw motion start, and he's breaking on the ball and just flying out of frame on this to make a contested catch turn incompletion on this, when if he had stayed with his flat assignment, would have definitely been a very easy caught TD, because the other two defenders right here aren't doing really much of anything to defend this, and they really can't do much of anything. He's just coming right across their zones, and Travis Hunter was the one to have the know-it-all to go ahead. He's covering the flat over here, and he cuts right over, makes a play on this ball, and I'm going to actually show the angle again from that first angle. Yeah, so we have him here, and there's a little bit of like that openness that Travis Hunter is allowing right here, where you look at this and you think, oh, he got beat. The quarterback could sling this here and he's going to get beat. But the thing with Travis Hunter is he's such an athlete that this is almost an opening I feel he's allowing. He's letting it be open because he wants to jump this ball. He wants the ball to be placed right out here, and he wants to be able to catch it here. He wants to jump it. He's effectively baiting the quarterback here, and when the quarterback doesn't take the bait and the quarterback then works back through the progressions to this guy, Travis Hunter's like, okay, I see his eyes, I know he's not making that bait, but I also see where the ball's going to go, and he's going to go over here with it. And again, we saw the play, we saw the outcome. Travis Hunter just makes a great play on it. Getting into the scouting report card section of the video, I have one for him as a wide receiver, one for him as a corner, and as you can see, I prefer him as a corner. With those elite ball skills and his great zone coverage ability, I think that he's probably one of the best prospects I've seen at corner. And then when you look at his man coverage ability, that's when it kind of starts to falter. And I think that's primarily due to size concerns. When he's playing wide receiver, size concern isn't really an issue with his, A in contested catch and his great hands. He really fights through contact at the catch point, but it is kind of an issue on his routes as a wide receiver. He can get muscle out of the routes. He can get pushed off of his spots as a route runner. And then you see that respond to him as a corner. He will get pushed off at the top of breaks and give up some separation. He will allow catches because people are just bigger than him. They can reach over him, catch over him. And with all of that, I mean, I think size is definitely something you could see him add some strength. Facing off against taller receivers than himself, which is, he's 6'1", it's not short, but in those instances, in those matchups, I do think he will have a disadvantage, but that's kind of a gimme. So I don't hold that against him so much that it's like gonna make or break his career because he's small. He's not small. He's gonna play just fine. He might have a lean frame and he might need to add some strength and some muscle mass there, but I think if he does do that, then you would see his grades improve across the whole board. His tackling was improved, his run defense, his run blocking, and if you play him on both sides of the ball, you would definitely see with some weight gain, he would perform much better against any real opposition he faces on his routes in those man coverage situations. But I prefer him as a corner. I do think that he's a good wide receiver, but as a corner, I think he's definitely top of the draft, and hence the A- grade there. I definitely would have him a top 5 big board at corner. And you got to think, I'm combining these. It's not like he's going to play corner and only corner, so I'm only going to weight that grade. I think he will definitely make a concerted effort to play both sides of the ball. The team that drafts him should definitely try to get him to play both sides of the ball. And so it's kind of a combination of these grades. You have a B+ and an A-. That basically puts you up to an A+ range, top prospect, because you could be the top prospect at both of these positions. But with that, that'll wrap up the Travis Hunter scouting report. Leave a like, leave a comment down if you had anything you disagreed with, agreed with. Drop a like if you enjoyed. Hit subscribe if you want to see more of these scouting reports. I have some coming out every single week, moving towards the draft, and maybe even doubling up on some of those weeks. And yeah, with that, thank you for watching.